Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'll be showing you how to make this super cool Vael bracelet, and there is no double-ended hook needed for this design, so if you only use one-sided hooks, this will be perfect for you. I also want to mention that I do have a bigger, wider version of this design, so if this interests you, that will be out in a few days, so stay tuned. But I will be showing you guys how to make this smaller version today. Before we start, I do want to mention I do hold my hook with my left hand, so if you will have trouble following this tutorial because of that, you can send me a message on my Instagram, which is linked in the description of this video, and I will send you an unlisted mirrored version of this video. So I hope that helps anybody that needs it. So let's just get started. So as I mentioned earlier, you only need a one-sided hook for this design. So here are a couple examples of what you could use. I am using the new Loom hook from the Rainbow Loom web store, but you could basically use any Rainbow Loom hook. You will need 4 C-clips to work with, but you only need 2 to finish your bracelet. As for your colors, you will need 1 border color here, which I will be using opaque yellow. However many colors you want for these butterfly shapes here, I will be using opaque forest green and opaque teal. And then it's a little hard to see, but you need 1 connecting color in the center. And for that, I will be using rose jelly. So let's just get started. So to begin, we're going to get our border color and just cap it on our hook. Then we're going to grab one of our C-clips, come to the crossed section of the cap band and just clip it. And make sure that you get both sides of the cap band into the C-clip. We do this so it does not fall apart during our next step. We're going to get another border color and pull it through the band closest to our hook. Now we get another border color, pull it through all 3 bands, and pick up the 2 bands farthest from our hook. And then we're going to rearrange the 2 yellow bands sitting in the center over that yellow band. And it should look something like this. Now we're going to grab our first inside color, which for me is teal. And you're going to pull that through the first 3 bands and pick all of those yellow bands back up. Now we're going to rearrange the yellow band sitting closest to our hook over that teal. And the teal should just be sitting in the center here, but you want to be very careful as that teal is not holding onto anything, so it could easily slip out. Now with our thumb, we're going to hold down the side of the teal that's farthest from our hook, and then flip that remaining teal over that yellow band. Now we're going to flip this remaining teal over those 2 center yellow bands. And then we're going to pinch both that teal and the yellow sitting closest to our hook, pull the teal off, and then only put the yellow on your hook. So it should look something like this. Now we grab a second teal band, and we're going to pull it through all 4 yellow bands. And then pick all 4 of them back up. Now we want to be very careful during this next step to make sure the teal does not slip out. So we're going to rearrange the 3 yellow bands sitting closest to our hook over that teal. And again, be very careful with this teal. It should look like this. And we're going to hold the side of the teal that's farthest from our hook, flip this teal over the center 2 bands, and then pinch both that teal and the outside yellow, pull the teal off of the hook and then only put the yellow back on. That was the hardest step that we have to do. And now we just get this remaining teal and just carefully flip it over all 4 yellow bands. It might feel a little wonky, but it'll look something like this. Now, you just want to make sure that these yellow bands stay in order, and we're going to get another border color, pull it through the first 2 bands, get another border color, pull it through all 4 bands, and pick up the 2 yellow bands farthest from our hook. Now, we rearrange those 2 yellow bands sitting in the middle over that yellow, and now we are back at the start of our pattern. So now you are going to continue this pattern all the way until you reach your desired length, and then I will show you what to do next. I am going to go off camera and do that, but if the pattern is still not clicking for you, there will be a timestamp starting from this point here where you can follow along until the pattern does click for you. So I will meet you back here in just a little bit. So I am to my desired length. I stopped a little short just for the tutorial. But you want to stop at the point right before you're going to pull the yellow bands through. And I stopped here because instead of pulling 2 yellow bands through, we're only going to pull 1 yellow band through. So you're just going to pull that through all 4 bands. And then you're going to get one of your C-clips and just clip that here. And we're done with the first half. So you need to do this twice. So I already did my other half, but you're going to have 2 pieces that are the same exact length. And once you are done with that, you can meet me back here. So now that we have our 2 halves, there's just one thing I want to mention. As you can see here, sometimes this last band will become unflipped, and the way you fix it is you just pull that green band back over the C-clip back to where it's supposed to be. So I just wanted to mention that really quick, but now we can just start connecting our 2 halves down the middle. To do this, we're going to come to our first half and navigate to the cap band, and there's going to be 2 teal bands sticking out, and we're going to pick both of those up, and we get our other half, find the other cap band, and pick up those 2 teal bands. So there should be 4 teal bands on your hook, and now we're going to get our center connecting color, which I'm using Rose Jelly, and you're just going to pull it through all 4 teal bands. Now, this next part is a little weird, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to pinch these rose bands off, pick up from the half that's farthest from our hook, we're going to pick up those 2 bands, and then pick up these 2 green bands. So, we'll carefully and tightly pinch off those rose bands, and pick up those 2 green bands, put those rose bands you're pinching back on our hook, and then pick up those next 2 green bands. Now we get another rose jelly, and then we're going to pull it through all of the bands on our hook, and now we can do the same thing. So we pinch the rose off of our hook, pick up the next 2 teal bands, put the rose back on your hook, and pick up the next 2 teal bands, and then we'll get a rose and pull it through all bands on our hook. So if you can't tell yet, basically what we're doing is we're picking up 2 of these bands at a time on each side and pulling a rose band through the middle. So you're basically going to do that all the way up until the end, and if you still don't have the pattern, there will be a timestamp starting from here where you can keep following along until it does click. Then you're just going to do that all the way up until these last bands at the top, and then I'll show you what to do next. So I have pulled through all of my center bands, and to finish it off, we're just going to pinch off those 2 rose jellies, and we're going to pick up this yellow capped band here, and then we're going to put the rose jellies back on our hook, and then we could just unclip that yellow band, and then we're going to cross the side of the pink that's closer to the yellows over that first yellow like this. Then we're going to pinch the yellow and the pink closest to our hook and pull that other pink off, and then put the 2 bands you're pinching back on your hook. Now we're going to get this other clipped band, put it on our hook and unclip, and then we're going to cross that remaining pink over the yellow next to it, closest to our hook. And then we're going to pinch that pink and the yellow off, let go of the pink, and then put the yellow back on our hook. And then we can just clip both of these yellow bands back. So we'll clip those first 2. And then we'll clip the second 2. And then we can just unclip these cap bands here at the beginning. And yeah, that is the Vael bracelet. So I do hope you guys enjoyed, and keep in mind I do have a wider version coming out soon, so that will be out in a few days, so stay tuned for that. But I do hope you guys enjoyed, and if you do make this, you can use the hashtag #VaelBracelet on Instagram. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me on Instagram, and yeah, if you could like and subscribe, that would mean a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next video.